Today I'm joined by Chan Hon Goh. Miss Goh is one of the most prolific artists of her generation with an illustrious stage career of over 20 years as the first Chinese-Canadian principal dancer with the National Ballet of Canada. Since retiring from the stage in 2009, Miss Goh has been the director of Goh Ballet Canada, a professional ballet academy with locations in Vancouver and Toronto. She is also the executive producer behind The Nutcracker, a Vancouver holiday ballet performance which has been acclaimed worldwide. She has garnered several prestigious awards and distinctions, including an honorary doctorate from the University of British Columbia, the Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum and Diamond Jubilee Medals, and the Order of Canada for her contributions to Canadian culture. In today's show, we're going to talk about Go Ballet and the Nutcracker Show and many other topics relating to the art of ballet. Chan Hon Goh, thank you for taking part in our conversation today on Coastal Front.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, well, let's talk about Go Ballet. I became familiar with your organization a few years ago when my daughters were much younger and took part in Go Ballet's teachings that they were doing at Crofton House Schools we talked about.
Mm.
And then I was lucky enough to then start going to the Nutcracker, which our family's been doing for many years now. And it's a great performance. Let's start to talk about Go Ballet Academy for the benefit of our listeners and our viewers who might not be as familiar with the performing arts here in Vancouver and more particularly about Go Ballet. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization, its history, etc.? Tell us a little story.
It's my pleasure to. It's always a pride for me to share a little bit of our family history, really. Go Ballet Academy was founded by my parents, who were both principal dancers with the National Ballet of China. They immigrated to Vancouver in the late 70s and started the academy from very humble beginnings. They started in a basement studio close to Arbutus and 12th Avenue. And the academy, through its, I guess, through its caliber of training, quickly grew. And we moved to our current location, which is on 8th and Main in the vibrant Mount Pleasant area in the mid 80s. I am a product of their training. I was one of the first to graduate from the professional training program at Go Ballet. We have several streams that we offer there. The one that your daughters attended is our outreach program. We have a few within the greater Vancouver area. Crofton House was one of our first to sign up, and we also have Mulgrave School, St. George's, and Stratford Hall, as well as West Point Grey Academy. The reason for that is we felt it would be such a wonderful collaboration where we bring the art of dance to the school and make it easier for the students as well as the family so that they can do a proper classical ballet class, get that proper training right in the comfort of their school environment. And so that collaboration has been for the past 14 years. Um, yeah, and so within our academy, we offer classes from as young as 3.5-year-old right through to our diploma program. So several streams, the after school program, the Saturday classes, of course, and then the professional training. When I say the diploma program, that's really serves as a vocational studies certificate that's recognized by the Ministry of Education BC. So we've been working hard to produce dancers in Canada for many, many years, and I've had the really the pleasure and the privilege of being director for the past 15 years.
Wow. And that's a great intro. And I'm curious about the vocational training that you talked
Mm.
about that's recognized by the BC Ministry of education?
Yes.
Is that like a post like, after you would do that after high school type
Yes.
of okay, wow,
Yes, yes. So that's a full day program. It's a 2-year diploma program.
really?
And yes, we've had many success stories from that. Some of these young dancers are so accomplished that they're picked up by professional contracts, professional companies after the first year. Um, in fact, yesterday I was looking on Instagram and I saw a beautiful post by Celine Gittens, who is prima ballerina now with the Royal Birmingham Ballet in the UK. Um, she was a graduate of this program and then became a beautiful ballerina. She's actually one of the first, or I should say, pardon me, she was the first um, to dance the role of Swan Queen in the UK as a black dancer. So,
Wow.
breaking barriers,
And she's from Vancouver initially?
she's from Vancouver,
Wow.
and her family's still here. We have her come and do some master classes with our current students sometimes, and you know, she really exemplifies, our teachings. Um, Besides Celine, we have Frances Chung, who is also a Vancouverite, and she is a principal dancer now with the San Francisco Ballet. Just a number of these wonderful dancers have come through the academy that our current students can look up to.
Yeah, that's great. Those are great stories to speak about. Um, so you've got a lot of children that take part in Go Ballet. What do the numbers sound to give us some sense of
Yes,
yeah,
so we have 2 locations now,
okay.
Andrew, and it's a lot to manage. We take the work very seriously. It's a huge responsibility. So in Vancouver, which is our main location, we have between 450 to 500 students.
Wow, really?
Um, and believe it or not, every weekend, on every given Saturday when our programs are running, we have everybody coming through. So it's very busy.
Wow.
Um, and
And
we
where's your
hope to
second
grow it.
location?
Oh, um, our second location, we opened in Toronto.
Yeah.
So we're the only private school or the only dance school in Canada that has locations across Canada, right? And now I understand the challenges behind that.
Is it
But
fairly new, the one in Toronto?
we opened in 2019,
Okay.
um, and then we were, a bit stumped, as we all were,
Yeah.
but mostly in the performing arts, really, where during the pandemic with such a new school, you're trying to get it off the ground and there was lockdown after 6
Right.
months.
Yeah.
But now, it's good. It's getting back on its footings and it's starting to really get into the community as well. We just did our Royal Academy of Dance examinations there, and both locations are into summer programming.
Wow. Wow, that's great. Maybe you could help us understand, like, when you think about these young people who are coming through the program, and you've got different streams, and I'm sure you've got some kids who take it very seriously. They see a path towards maybe being a professional dancers, and others who just enjoy it. Can you maybe highlight some of the benefits to young people in doing, whether you want to speak about dance as a general topic or maybe specifically ballet? Like, what are some of the kind of benefits that young people get from doing this?
Oh, it's such a great question, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. Um, I believe that in the dance studio is where you not only get the instruction of learning a new vocabulary that's related to a dance genre, but you're actually learning a lot of life skills. The self motivation, the discipline, the awareness, the individuality. I could go on and on, and that evolves at every stage of training. But we understand that not every dancer that comes through our doors will become a professional dancer.
Yeah.
Um, so it's this overall dance education that is, I find, crucial to a young person's growth and development. And you just build these fantastic habits that you can take with you, through all walks of life. Funny story about our Toronto location. I met up with another alum who graduated from our Main Street location and was instructed by my mother. And when she heard that we were looking for a location in Toronto, she said, "I'll drive you around." Well, this lovely woman is Tina Lee, who is uh, the I guess she's the person that runs T&T Supermarket now. It was
Mhm.
started by her family, and she did dance all the way through her, high school years and went in different direction. And now is an amazing entrepreneur. So,
Yeah.
um,
It's
you
been a
know,
very big success story, TNT. Yeah.
yes. So,
So she's one of your alumni.
yes, and we're
Oh, that's
we're thrilled to say that dance had a really big part in her upbringing.
Wow, that's great. That's a great story. Can you tell me what are some misconceptions about ballet, or are there any things that someone like myself, I mentioned earlier before we started filming that my world's ice hockey. That's been my
Mhm.
kind of. But is there anything that I would be quite surprised by when it comes to the discipline of ballet?
Um, the world is changing, and the runnings of a dance organization is progressing. So, with that, a lot of the stigma behind what was generally known as maybe eating disorders or sexual orientations or, you know, um, ruining your feet from being in point shoes.
Yeah, that's the one that I always think of, like, you hear of, like, you think of people who do ballet, you think,
Mm.
"Oh, man, they must be can they walk, when they're older?"
Well, yes, it's very physical,
Yeah,
and female dancers who are on point, go through a lot. I was in point shoes for all of my professional career. We
yeah,
not only train in point shoes, but performing in point shoes, and
yeah,
yeah, it's unnatural, right? You're
yeah.
up on your toes all the time.
Okay, just to digress on this topic, because 'cause I'm so interested, I've never known, I should just maybe chat GPT this, but how does it work? Like, how do you is what's the inside of that shoe look like? Is there something that's helping support the girl's toes?
No, actually, happy to clear that up. So, it because it's such a traditional art form, you have to go back hundreds of years.
Okay,
And we build up the strength to be on point. So you have to have the ankle strength, the muscle um, uh, endurance, and to have built up the strength to keep yourself up on your toes. These shoes are made up of layers of burlap, glue, and the sole is made up of a leather and cardboard shank. It's hand sewn. Cobblers are trained for years to make the point shoe. It melts though because it starts off hard, and with your dancing, with the weight of your body, with perspiration, it melts. So they don't last very long. So as a ballerina, I would always have at least 5 pairs of shoes going at the same time.
no one.
Um, with a performance of, let's say, Sleeping Beauty, which is one of the longest ballets in our classical repertoire, I would at least go through 3 pairs, but I'd have 6 pairs ready. Um,
Oh,
so the shoe, what supports the foot? Well, not too much, but you have a block, which is the toe part of it, and again, that is shaped, but there's nothing inside. There's no steel, no wood, no
so it truly is these girls are truly on their toes.
on their point,
Yeah.
yes, on their toes, supported by a few layers of hard glue and burlap and that beautiful shiny satin, but it melts.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Um, I can't yeah, I could just I my perception is that there's a few, if you wanna call it and to me, it's an art, but it's also athletics. Like,
Yes.
I kind of my view is that you put ballet into the realm of, um, gymnastics.
Oh,
Like, there's obviously in certain types of gymnastics, there's a certain amount of display, and I mean, I guess ice skating or figure skating would be the same, but to me, like, I would assume that like, it's a lot of work to be a ballerina.
it's a lot of work, but it's also, a combination of not just the athleticism.
Yeah.
It's much more than that. Um, when let's say track and field, let's say you're working towards a race, you need to have, be aware of what you're eating,
Yeah.
how you're resting, maintaining and getting the right physiotherapy and
Yeah.
for your muscles in your body to recover. Dance is more than that. We have all of that because it's so physical, but then you add the music, you and now you're learning the choreography of steps that
Yeah.
changes.
Sure.
You add the lights, which you have to adjust to. Then you add the costume, and then you add the live music that may have different tempos, because it's live. So sometimes the conductor might have had a coffee and he just playing it a little bit faster. I'm saying that with dance, it's really so full that it's an art form paired with athletics.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Yeah. Where did ballet originate from?
Oh my gosh, now you're testing my
Yeah.
knowledge of history. I want to make sure I answer this right. It originated in France,
In
in the
France?
courts.
In the courts?
In the courts.
In what way? How did
Um,
that
so, um, King Louis XVI
Yeah.
believed in beauty, and so he thought turnout was more elegant and beautiful than just standing parallel.
Okay.
And so that's where it started. But the real evolution of it, and the advancement of it, was taken and brought to Russia. And so you see the great Marius Petipa, one of the all-time greatest classical choreographers, and Pyotr Tchaikovsky, all originated from Russia.
Right.
Yeah.
And is Russia, is China, Western Europe, where are most of the top ballerinas or is I don't even know if I'm getting the right terminology.
Ballerinas, ballet dancers.
Ballet dancers, where are they coming from today?
Yeah, there are some top schools all over.
Yeah.
Ballet is really, I guess, recognized through various stylistic forms. So the Russian method would be based on the Vaganova method, which is one of their founding um, syllabuses. Then in the UK, they're mostly known by the Royal Academy of Dance, which is a combination of the French, Italian, English, and Russian. In Italy, it's known as the Cecchetti method. So you have all of these different methods. Now, in North America, we're way newer. We don't have the depth of history. So it's a accumulation of all of this. Like now you see big dance companies such as the American Ballet Theater where, their dancers come from all over and it's not like they don't just have the Vaganova method or the Cecchetti method. Like it's such an international mix. And now they absorb the best of everything,
Hmm.
which is really interesting, and I think, um, really the way to go because you know, we've with communications, with everything being so easy to access, it's actually what we do at Go Ballet. We have the foundations of the Vaganova method, and in our junior school, we do the Royal Academy of Dance. But our faculty comes from such a wide background. They were all professionals in their past experience. So they bring a lot of added knowledge to what they can teach in the studio.
Okay. And when a ballet dancer, like, is there a stage or a point in their life where they just can't do it anymore?
Mm,
Is there a kind of a I'm similar to athletes, I guess you could
yeah.
say.
Yeah, very similar in that it is so physical and it's so aesthetic as well. Um, you look at the role of Juliet, there's a 13-year-old girl, and, how old can you really be to portray that? It's not acting, it's still physical, it's still
Yeah.
alive, right? So but the body gives out. Um, I retired when I was 40, and that was considered a really good long run. Now, with, a lot of better treatments and better access for dancers. Ballerinas are going on until they're 45
Oh,
or older.
well,
In the rare cases, even in the time of Dame Margot Fontaine or the Cuban ballerina Alicia Alonso, they went until their 60s. That's like a
oh, that's
true,
incredible. I thought you were
true
gonna tell me
exception.
like, 35 or so. So
Yeah, well, a little bit shorter for male dancers actually, because of the wear and tear on their knees, on their
yeah.
back, on their hips. Yeah, I think ballerinas have maybe on average a 5-year longer lifespan
Yeah, yeah.
than
Well, those
male
some of those male ballerinas, that I've seen in the Nutcracker, like, the height they can get at times with
yeah,
their
the jumps.
that's
Yes.
incredible.
So male dancers,
They
yes.
and they look like they have, like, literally, like, -1% body fat.
Yeah,
I mean, it's incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, wow. You mentioned that you've had some really successful dancers who carried on from your organization into becoming professionals. Were, is there any famous people that we would all know of and go, oh, that like they grew up like maybe actors or
Mm.
like people that you'd be quite. I mean, I don't know, like a Taylor Swift or something that they'd be like that did ballet as part of their discipline when they were younger.
Yeah, well, we are very proud of all the grads that come out of our academy. And um, here's the thing with ballet is that, it really hasn't been commercialized so much.
Right.
But um, people who follow the show So You Think You Can Dance might have heard of Alex Wong. Here's another Vancouver native who
Oh,
grew up
really?
in the school, attended Go Ballet since age 6 and graduated through our program, went to Switzerland and got first place at the Prix de Lausanne and then went to join American Ballet Theater in New York. Had a wonderful career dancing in the US until he decided to try out for You Think You Can Dance, and he became one of the top three.
Really?
Now he's on Broadway doing shows.
Oh, that's
Um, and thanks to some of our streaming platforms now, there was a recent dance related series that came out called Étoile, which is really in the French, the Paris Opera. It's the highest status for a ballet dancer. That's the star status. And so in French, it's étoile. And so we have another one of our dancers who grew up with the school, Benjamin Freemantle, was actually our guest artist last year as the Cavalier Prince in the Nutcracker. He's one of the featured dancers in Étoile.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. The 2010 movie Black Swan was an acclaimed film centered around ballet. The lead in the movie, Natalie Portman, won an Academy Award for Best Actress. What are your thoughts on the movie?
Oh, I
I mean, to start with,
streamed.
I'm assuming you watched it, right?
I did watch
Okay.
it, and here's what I mean about making ballet commercial or Hollywoodizing ballet, and
Yeah.
in a way, it gave ballet a lot more access, right? But I remember the year after when I was going through customs, I was going to perform in Europe. I think it might have been in Germany, and in my passport were all these stamps of all the places that I'd been, and the customs officer goes, "So you travel a lot?" And I said, "Yes." And what's your profession? I'm a ballet dancer. So you're like the black swan, And so I don't know if that's good or bad because it was so dramatic, really. Um, but what do I think of it? I think it's nonfiction. And I think it was quite well done,
Yeah.
in that um, it showed one side and made it very, very dramatic. She's a fantastic actress.
Hmm.
Um, but, you know, if that's the only thing you know about ballet, then it's not the whole truth.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
fair. That's a good answer. And that's actually a good segue into the Nutcracker.
Okay.
Um, for anyone who's seen the Nutcracker performance, it's obviously a very intricate and meticulous in its music score and choreography. I'm very happy that my wife convinced me to go to it years ago when our girls were quite young, because I'm the one who always says, "Okay, what are we going to get our tickets? Let's plan it well in advance." Um, can you explain, maybe to start with, for our viewers and listeners, a little bit about what the Nutcracker is, and when did Go Ballet first come out with its very first performance in Nutcracker here in Vancouver?
Well, I always say the Nutcracker is really a ballet like no other because it's centered around a Christmas story, and it's that special time of year where, you want to be with family and friends, and there's lots of special gatherings. And no matter what and where you're from, the holidays bring people together.
Hmm.
And so all the major companies around the world have their own Nutcracker. And when I was thinking of retiring from the National Ballet and having done, I kid you not, hundreds of Nutcracker performances in my career with different companies, I realized that Vancouver did not have its own Nutcracker, that Vancouver was only importing traveling shows of the Nutcracker. And as I look to retiring and also maybe passing on some of my experiences and mentoring young dancers, I realized that the Nutcracker would be such a tremendous vehicle to allow them to grow up through the show. We have the little mice
Yes.
starting at age 6,
Yeah.
and
They're so cute. Yeah.
they do practice all of their squeaks and squeals, and they really steal the show. But you progress through the show with all these roles, and then as you graduate, you get to be one of the soloists. We also wanted a collaborative feel. It was really important for me that we don't diminish the representation of classical ballet. We can't water it down, and that's been my whole concept. We bring in live musicians from the Vancouver Opera Orchestra who accompany the beautiful dancers. We bring in international guest stars from as far as, let's say, the Royal Danish Ballet, um, or the National Ballet of China we have had, or American Ballet Theater. This is going into our 15th year, so it's been many
Yeah.
years. Yes.
Yeah.
And so, it's wonderful for me to seek out these unique artists and bring them to Vancouver and share the stage with our local dancers. Then we've got the gymnasts who tumble out of the big skirt in Act Two. We've got the ballroom dancers who are right here in Vancouver. They've won some awards in their ballroom dancing, social dancing, and they're on stage in Act One, and we've got actors as well. So
Mhm.
it's a beautiful coming together. Usually we have over 25 dance organizations that send their students, their dancers, to audition for parts in the role in the production. So it's something that has become year round because we start planning for it as soon as the the shows finish. Like by February, we're already planning for the next season.
Really?
Um, and one thing that I'm really proud of the growth is that we are now incorporating so many interactive activities that's in the lobby, like say with the local choir
Mhm.
or with photography and with boutiques. So come early, and,
Yeah.
and you've been there,
Oh, yeah,
so
it's
there's
so well
lots to
done.
do.
Like, my daughters love, and I like to, they love getting dressed up. I mean, it's not just the show. I mean, the show is remarkable, but it's also like the whole experience. We try and go early. It's like you said, the families are getting together. It's things kind of for most businesses like ours, I think slow down. So you get some time, and you get there early, and and I love how everybody gets dressed nicely.
Yes.
You know, it's not like going to a Canucks game, right? It's like,
Mm.
people look sharp, and it's such a great experience. How many people are involved in the production? Like, and maybe you can break it down into like the front stage versus all the support. I'm sure there's lots of support people that you don't even see on stage.
Yes, it's quite a big puzzle that we have to put together.
Yeah.
We're at the Queen Elizabeth Theater, which means we can cater to an audience, a full capacity of about 2,700 people.
Is that right?
And we usually do 5 shows, and we've been really fortunate with the support that we get from audiences like yourself. So we usually sell out, which is great.
Yeah.
Um, we let's see now. Let's start with the cast. We have a cast of usually around 250 dancers, ranging from as young as 6 years old to, well, the grandparents in the show are in their 70s,
I
and they're
was gonna ask you about, 'cause I recognize the grandmother,
yes.
and she's been there, I mean, every time I've been. So how long has she been on that show for?
So Jackie has been with us for, I believe, 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, you'll recognize her from some of her Netflix series. She's a professional actress.
Yeah.
Leonard, who's the grandfather, is also a professional actor in the
Yeah.
community. And then so
And
um,
they're in their 70s.
they're in their 70s
Wow.
and going strong.
Yeah.
Still kicking her legs really high.
Yeah.
um, and then, the range, then from the 250 in the cast, we've got a whole, backstage crew, that looks after the lighting, the special effects, um, and, we've got, orchestra full of, 35 members in the orchestra. Then we've got all of the Queen Elizabeth, Civic Theater staff. Front of house is very full as well because you've got your two photo vignettes, you've got your boutique, got the VIP lounge. I'm not sure if you've
I
been to
No, I
the
haven't
Okay,
actually.
well,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to join the VIP
Yeah.
lounge because it actually offers um, photo shoots with members of the cast,
Oh, fun.
and people get a backstage tour. So it's an additional perk
Yeah.
to seeing what it's like behind the scenes. So, um, yeah, I am really proud of my staff who work with me to put this all together.
Wow, that's great. So 5 shows
Yeah.
that happen, but almost a year's worth of planning. It's incredible. And it sounds like you were saying earlier that a lot of those, um, little mice's mouse that you see at age 6, some of them will, if they're carrying on with your academy, carry on and move into different roles as they get older.
Yes. And in
Then
fact,
is there anybody who's kinda like started off as a mouse and, like, they ended up becoming quite a key performer in the Nutcracker?
yes, well, so well, I should say we started in 2009,
Yeah.
the production, and we were dark for a couple of years of the pandemic, as most
Yeah.
performing arts organizations were. Um, but looking to from the very beginning, so we had a young dancer who started out as Fritz, and he grew up through the show and eventually became the Snow King. So that was like
Oh, really?
a huge role. And then graduated from the academy and joined Canada's Royal Winnipeg Ballet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so a few stories like that and a few that are in the making as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier the actors or the people that come out of the big skirt,
Yeah.
big I don't even know what you call that
The,
scene, but the
it's Mother Ginger.
Mother Ginger. Okay,
Yeah.
Mother Okay, so let's talk about Mother Ginger for a second. So that person who plays Mother Ginger,
Mm,
tell us about
Simone.
that. Who is it? Simone?
Simone is
Simone is got the best energy.
thank
When
you.
Simone comes out, it's like everybody goes, it's so exciting.
So
Yeah.
Simone is um, uh, a local celebrity.
Yeah.
Christopher Hunt is Simone and
Okay.
is a renowned drag queen in the city,
Yeah.
um, and has been with us since the inception of the show,
Really.
and keeps it really fresh and lively. And now I really hope he'll come back this year. He
Yeah.
has relocated to Toronto,
Oh, I see. Okay.
so
Yeah.
we're hoping to have him back this year
All
as
right,
well.
Christopher, this is your message. Make sure you show up for the Nutcracker.
This is your official invitation.
um, Chan, so the Nutcracker's obviously been a big success. You've been running it since 2009. Obviously, a bit of a hiccup with everybody during COVID. Have you entertained the idea of bringing any other shows to Vancouver to complement what you do in the Christmas time with the Nutcracker?
Yes, I believe there is an audience, and I believe the city of Vancouver needs more classical ballet at its fullest. Um, I don't think there's anything that can take the place of classical ballet or represent it. So, this is my background. I come from a family of classicists, and I was with the National Ballet of Canada, and I feel this, you know, strength to want to do something for the city. So on our 40th anniversary, which was, 7 years ago, we produced Cinderella, the full length Cinderella.
Okay.
And that was wonderful with our invited choreographer, Maina Gilgood from England. And so looking ahead, in 3 years, we will be celebrating our 50th anniversary. So it's going to be a huge milestone for us and something truly deserving of celebrating. So I have planned for us to produce a brand new Swan Lake for Go Ballet.
Oh, wow. That's very exciting. Now, Swan Lake, like Nutcracker and Cinderella, are pre-existing stories.
Mhm.
One of the questions I have is if I went to a Nutcracker or a Swan Lake in a different part of the world, like if I went to London or if I went to, you know, Beijing
Yep.
and watched, would would I see the same show, largely speaking, or is there room for interpretation or modification of the show?
Yes, that's also a great question because that's part of the fun, right? It could be called Swan Lake and you could be in New York or in Beijing or any other city, and you're wondering, okay, is it going to, what am I going to see? Because
Yeah.
it's never the same.
Okay, it's not okay.
Yeah. So it's been adapted by many different choreographers, originally choreographed by Marius Peripa. Um, and so I was just in New York at American Ballet Theater where their production celebrated the 25th anniversary, and it's by Kevin McKenzie, their former artistic director. So, um, to answer your question, yeah, each company will have their different versions, and so for Vancouver, I'm hoping to really get into the studio, and it will be my version.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that there's a general theme that's the same, though. I mean, as
the
far as the
storyline.
storyline and
Yes,
yeah,
the storyline will be the same, and there could be a couple of variables as well,
yeah.
whether you choose for the swan to um, the Swan Queen to die at the end, or you choose the other version, which is the spell is broken and she's transformed back into a princess,
Oh, wow.
which is quite beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the only way you can find out is by going eventually,
Yeah.
I guess. Well, this has been great. Chan, you're doing a lot for the community. We love bringing on guests like yourself. We tend to it's very easy to get the politicians to come here and they love to get on their platform. And obviously we started off as under Coastal Front featuring business success stories, business leaders. But it's people like you I really enjoy bringing in because you are what I call a community leader.
Thank you.
You're obviously running a business, but you're also helping young people in pursuing something they really love in the arts. And as one who doesn't do arts but likes to take it in, well, I guess I do a little bit. I DJ on the side for fun. So I don't think you'd ever be able to incorporate my DJ sets into Swan Lake, but I do appreciate the arts, and I sure enjoy going to the Nutcracker, and in 3 years, hopefully going to Swan Lake as well. So
Oh,
I wish you continued success with your academy, and you've got
thank
lots
you.
of great stories to tell, and I'm glad you've been able to come in and see us today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to chat with you.
Yeah. Chan Hon Goh, Director of Goh Ballet Academy, thank you for being on Coastal Front today.